How did one just dancing night end with papers handed to me in a crowded lobby while people stared? Why did my husband stay calm, collect proof, and let the legal results speak for him in public? I kept asking how he could do this to me, but the real question was why I thought I could do it to him first. My name is Melisande Sorrell, and people call me Mel because the full name sounds like I am trying too hard. I was 33 then. I worked as an office coordinator at a dental clinic. I booked appointments, answered phones, and smiled even when patients were rude. I told myself I carried the whole place on my back. I also told myself I carried my marriage. Ethan was my husband. He was 35. He built things for a living. He did not talk a lot, but he liked plans, lists, and quiet evenings. For a long time, that felt safe. Then it started to feel like a cage. I still think he changed first. I still think he stopped seeing me. That Friday night, we were supposed to go out as a couple. Pam Rowe, my best friend, had sent me a flyer for a dance night downtown. She said it would be good for my spirit. My sister, Danny Mercer, said I needed to stop acting like a tired mom. I did not like how those words hit me, so I decided to prove something. Before we left, Ethan asked if I could be ready on time because we had a babysitter. I said I was ready when I was ready. He asked why I was angry already. I said I was not angry, I was just honest. He pointed at the sink and asked if we could talk first. I said there was nothing to talk about, because he always made problems before fun. He sighed. I noticed he washed his hands twice, like he was trying to wash off the mood. In the car, he asked what I wanted from tonight. I said I wanted a night where I did not feel like a task on his list. He said he did not see me that way. I said he did because he planned romance like a dentist appointment. He gripped the wheel tighter. I watched his knuckles go pale and told myself it was proof he was controlling. We met Pam and her boyfriend outside the club. The line was long, and people were already loud. Pam looked me up and down and said, I finally dressed like I remembered I had a body. I laughed and acted like it was just a joke. Ethan stood behind me and kept his hands in his coat pockets. Pam asked if he was going to behave. Ethan asked what she meant. Pam said she meant not sulking. Ethan said he was fine. I rolled my eyes so Pam would see I was on her side. Inside, the music hit hard. Lights moved like waves. The air smelled like perfume and sweet drinks. I felt the old part of me wake up. That part did not want to be a wife who folded towels and packed snacks. That part wanted eyes on her. Ethan asked if I wanted a drink. I said yes, then I turned away before he could answer. I walked with Pam to the bar. Pam said Ethan looked like he came to a meeting, not a club. I said he always looked like that. Pam asked if I was tired of it. I said I was tired of feeling alone next to my own husband. It sounded dramatic, but the club made drama feel normal. When we got our drinks, Ethan found us. He asked if we could dance together first. I said we could, but I moved slowly, like I was doing him a favor. On the floor, he tried to match my steps. He was not bad, he just was not loud about it. He danced like he was careful not to bump anyone. I danced like I wanted space. Pam came up close and grabbed my wrist. She leaned in and asked if I saw the guy near the speaker. She said he had been watching me since we came in. I glanced over and saw him. He was tall and loose in his body, like he belonged to the music. He smiled at me like we had a secret. Ethan asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. He asked why I looked past him. I said I was just looking around. He said he felt like I was not here with him. I said he always made it about him. I said he was acting jealous. He said he was not jealous. He was hurt. I remember thinking that hurt was a tool he used to slow me down. I decided not to let him. Pam said we should go closer to the front. I let her pull me. Ethan followed for a moment. Then the crowd shifted and he was behind us. I did not reach back. I told myself he was a grown man and could keep up. At the front, the stranger stepped in like he had been invited. He held out his hand toward me, not touching yet. just offering. I hesitated for 1 second, and Pam nodded like she was giving me permission. I took his hand. The stranger asked my name. I said Mel. He said his name was Rafe. He asked if I liked to dance. I said I did, but my husband did not. That was not true, but it felt true in that moment. Rafe asked if my husband minded. I said my husband minded everything. Rafe started with small steps, then turned me lightly. It was not intimate in a graphic way, but it was close enough to feel like attention. He watched my face, not the floor. I felt seen. I told myself this was harmless. I told myself dancing was not cheating. I told myself Ethan needed to learn not to control me with his feelings. Ethan appeared at my side a minute later. He asked who this was. I said it was just a guy dancing. He asked me to come back with him for a second. I said I was finally having fun, and he was trying to ruin it. He asked if we could talk somewhere quieter. I said he was embarrassing me. I said he needed to stop acting like my father. Rafe stepped back and lifted his hands like he did not want trouble. He asked if it was okay. I said it was fine and that my husband was overreacting. Ethan looked from me to Rafe. He asked me again to come with him. I said no. Pam came up fast. She asked Ethan why he was making a scene. Ethan said he was not making a scene. He was asking his wife to step aside. Pam said he did not own me. I nodded like that was brave and true. Ethan's face changed. Not angry, just blank. He asked if I remembered we came together. I said yes, and I said he could dance too if he stopped being stiff. He asked if I was drunk. I said I was not drunk, I was awake. I said maybe he liked me quiet and small. He did not answer that. He looked around, like he was noticing the people watching. I kept dancing. I did not look back. That is the part I try to defend, even now. I told myself he deserved it. I told myself I had carried the marriage and I was tired. I told myself respect follows results, and I had results. He did not. Later, when the song ended, I saw Ethan near the edge of the floor. He was not shouting. He was not grabbing me. He just stood there, still and pale, like he was trying to memorize something. His phone was in his hand, screen lit for a second, then dark again. On the ride home, he sat in silence. He asked why I did that in front of everyone. I said I did not do anything, I just danced. He asked if I wanted to hurt him. I said he hurt himself by acting insecure. He asked if I even liked him anymore. I said he was twisting things, and I said he always made me the bad guy. When we got home, he did not argue. He walked to the kitchen, poured water, and set his glass on the counter far from mine. He asked if I could sleep in the guest room tonight. I said he was being dramatic. He did not raise his voice. He just nodded once, like he heard me, and then he turned away. I stood in the hallway, still buzzing from the music, waiting for him to chase me. Instead, I heard a soft laptop chime from the office, like a quiet confirmation. Ethan closed the office door without looking at me. On Monday, the clip was everywhere. Pam had posted it with a caption about girls' night energy, even though Ethan had been there. She tagged me, tagged the club, and tagged Rafe because she thought it was funny. I told myself it was harmless because it was public anyway. If it was public, it could not be wrong. That is how my mind worked. Ethan did not mention the post at breakfast. He asked if Nora wanted cereal or eggs. Nora said she wanted cereal. Ethan poured it and wiped the counter after, like he always did. I waited for him to accuse me. I waited for him to beg. He did neither. I asked him if he was going to be weird all week. He asked what I meant by weird. I said quiet. He said he was tired. I said he was punishing me. He said he was not punishing me, he was thinking. That word made me angry because thinking meant he was not chasing me. At the clinic, my phone kept buzzing. Pam sent laughing emojis and said the clip was doing numbers. Danny said I looked alive for the first time in years. A coworker named Jill leaned over the front desk and asked if that was me in the video. I said yes, and I said it was just dancing. Jill asked if my husband was okay with it. I said he was fine, but he liked to act dramatic. I heard my own voice and liked how sure it sounded. It did not match my stomach, but I trusted the voice more than the feeling. Dr. Batra called me into his office before lunch. He asked if everything was okay at home because patients had mentioned the video. I said people were nosy and it was not a big deal. He said he did not care about my personal life, but he cared about the clinic's image. He said he wanted me to keep work clean and calm. I said I understood. I walked out smiling, but my cheeks burned. In the break room, Pam called. She asked if Ethan had cried yet. I said he had been quiet. Pam said quiet was a guilt trick. She said men did that when they wanted you to apologize. I said Ethan loved apologies more than solutions. Pam laughed and said I should go out again, just to remind him I had options. I did not say no. I also did not say yes. I just listened. That was my way of pretending I had no plan. After work, I came home and found Ethan in the living room with his laptop open. A spreadsheet was on the screen, full of lines and numbers. He clicked away fast when I walked in. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing bills. I said we did not need a spreadsheet to pay bills. He said he liked to see everything clearly. On the fridge, I noticed a small sticky note that was not mine. It said, "Bring forms." I asked what forms. Ethan said it was nothing, just a reminder for work. He said he had to drop something off this week. I asked where. He said he would handle it. The more he said, handle it, the more I felt like he was taking something from me. I wanted him messy and emotional. I wanted him to need me. That night, I went through my tagged notifications. The club had reshared Pam's post. A few strangers had commented hearts. One comment said I looked like I was having fun while the husband looked miserable. That made me smile, which sounds ugly even to me now. I told myself it was proof I was right. If people saw him as miserable, then I was not cruel. I was just living. Then I saw a message request. It was Rafe. He said he hoped I got home safe and he liked my energy. I stared at the message for a full minute. I told myself it would be rude not to reply. I told myself it was normal to be friendly. I wrote back that it was a fun night and my friend had posted too much. He said it was fine and he was used to cameras. He asked if I danced often. I said not lately, because my husband did not like it. Again, not true, but it fit my story. Rafe said I deserved someone who let me feel free. I read that line twice. Ethan came into the bedroom while I was holding my phone. He asked what I was smiling at. I said Pam was being silly. He asked if it was about the club. I said he needed to let it go. He said he could not let it go if I kept acting like it was nothing. I said it was nothing, and he was making it something because he wanted control. He asked if I would take the post down. I said no, because I did not do anything wrong. He asked if I would at least ask Pam to remove the tag. I said I was not going to police my friends to make him comfortable. He looked at the floor and nodded once. He asked if I wanted to sleep in the guest room again, or if I wanted him to. I said he could sleep wherever he wanted, because he was the one with the problem. Later, he moved a pillow and a blanket down the hall without slamming anything. I wanted a slam. I wanted proof he was a bad husband. Quiet did not give me that. The next day, I told Danny that Ethan was acting cold. Danny said cold was emotional abuse. She said I should not let him freeze me out. She asked if I wanted to come to a rooftop bar on Friday with Pam and some friends. I said maybe. Danny said I needed to remember who I was before marriage. I said Ethan did not even like who I was now. At the clinic, my phone buzzed again, but the screen showed no caller ID. It rang twice and stopped. I stared at it and felt a pinch of fear. Then I told myself it was nothing. Everything was always nothing until it was too late, but I was not ready to admit that. That night, Ethan asked if we could talk for 15 minutes. He said he wanted to keep it calm. I said calm talks were just traps where I ended up apologizing. He said he did not want an apology. He wanted respect. I laughed and said, respect follows results, and he had been failing me. He asked what he had failed at. I said he failed at seeing me, wanting me, and choosing me. He asked if I was seeing someone else. I said he was paranoid. He asked if I had messaged the guy from the club. I said I was allowed to have friends. He said he was not trying to control me. He was trying to understand what happened to us. I said we were fine until he started acting like a victim. He did not raise his voice. He said he would not argue. He said he wanted to focus on Nora and peace in the house. I said peace was just another word for silence. He said if I wanted noise, I could go out with my friends, but he would not fight for attention in public. On Thursday morning, I saw a new calendar reminder on the shared kitchen calendar. It was written in Ethan's neat hand, meeting personal 9:10 a.m. I asked what personal meeting meant. He said it was just a meeting. I said with who. He said it was personal, and he would be back before Nora got home. I watched him pour coffee into a travel mug I did not recognize. It was a plain grey one, not ours. He put it in his bag, along with a folder labeled bank. He kissed Nora's head, told her to listen at school, and walked out. His car was pointed toward the street, ready to leave fast, like he had planned it that way. I stood in the kitchen with my phone in my hand, Rafe's last message still open, and I told myself Ethan was being dramatic. I told myself I was still in control, but my chest felt tight, like something invisible had started moving without me. I started to treat my phone like a second heartbeat. I told myself it was normal. Everyone lived on their phone. But I also started turning the screen away from Ethan without thinking. I said it was because I hated glare. The truth was I hated his eyes on it. Rafe kept messaging, mostly short and light. He asked how my week was. I said it was busy. He asked if I ever went dancing again. I said I wanted to. He asked if my husband was still tense. I said Ethan was always tense, and he liked rules more than people. Rafe said I deserved fun. I read that word, deserved, like it was a paycheck. On Wednesday, I left work 10 minutes late on purpose. I told myself I wanted to see if Ethan would notice. I wanted him to text me and ask where I was. I wanted a fight I could win. Instead, when I got home, he only asked if I had picked up Nora's school form from her backpack. I said I forgot. He said he would handle it. I asked why he was so calm. He asked why I wanted him not to be. I said I wanted him to care. He said he did care, but caring did not mean begging. That sentence made my face hot. It felt like he was insulting me without raising his voice. The house started to look different, not in a dramatic way, in small, quiet ways. 2 mugs on the counter placed far apart, a guest bed slightly disturbed every morning, a clean stack of mail on his side, and my side with junk. One night I heard a soft beep, like a recording app starting. I stood still and listened. Then I told myself I was imagining it, because it sounded better than believing he was collecting something. At the clinic, Jill asked if Ethan was still mad. I said he was acting like a child. Jill said it looked like he was hurt, not childish. I said women always made excuses for men. Jill looked down and said she was not making excuses. She was just saying it was public. I told her that was the point, because I had nothing to hide. I said it loud enough so other staff could hear, which I pretended was confidence. On Friday, I went to the rooftop bar with Pam and Danny. I told Ethan it was just a drink. He asked what time I would be back. I said he was not my manager. He said he needed to know for Nora's bedtime. I said he could handle bedtime like he always wanted to. He said okay, and he wrote something on his phone calendar without showing me. At the rooftop bar, Pam showed me comments on the club clip. She said, people love the story of a fun wife and a grumpy husband. Danny said Ethan needed to loosen up or lose me. I laughed and said he was already losing me, and he did not even notice. That was not fully true, but it felt powerful to say it out loud. Rafe showed up later. Pam acted like it was fate. Danny acted like it was proof I was right. Rafe asked if he could sit with us. I said yes, like I owned the table. He asked if Ethan knew I was here. I said Ethan knew what he needed to know. Rafe said he liked my honesty. I did not correct him. When I got home, it was past midnight. Ethan was on the couch with a blanket, not asleep, just waiting. He asked if I had a good time. I said yes. He asked if Rafe was there. I asked how he even knew that name. He said he had seen the tag and the comments. He asked if I wanted to explain why I was building a connection with a stranger. I said he was spying on me. He said he was not spying. He was reading what I chose to publish. I said that was different, and I said he was twisting it. He asked if I would stop talking to Rafe. I said no, because Rafe was just a friend, and Ethan did not get to choose my friends. Ethan asked if I would be okay if he did the same thing with a woman who flirted with him in public. I said he would never have that chance because no woman wanted him like that. I said it like a joke. Ethan did not laugh. The next morning, Nora asked why Daddy slept on the couch again. I said Daddy was being silly. Nora asked if it was because Mommy danced with the tall man. My stomach dropped. I asked who told her that. Nora said a kid's older sister showed her a video on a phone in the pickup line. I felt my face go cold. Ethan heard it too. He asked Nora who showed it and when. Nora said it was after school, near the cones, while people waited in cars. I snapped at Ethan and said he needed to fix that. He asked what I meant by fix. I said he needed to stop letting people talk about me. He said he could not control other people, but we could control what we post and who we spend time with. I said he was using Nora to control me. He said he was protecting Nora from adult mess. That afternoon, I went to the school pickup line on purpose. I wanted to prove I was not ashamed. I wanted to look strong in public. I wore sunglasses even though it was cloudy. I smiled too much. A few moms looked away fast. One mom gave me a tight smile like she was being polite for the kids. I hated that smile more than an insult. On the way home, my phone buzzed with no caller ID again. It stopped after 2 rings. I told myself it was spam. Then I saw Ethan glance at my screen without asking. I said he needed to stop watching me. He said he was not watching, he was noticing. That night, I saw a thread on his phone when it lit up on the counter. It just said, follow up. No names. I asked what follow up meant. He said work. I said he never used vague words for work. He said sometimes work was vague. Then he put his phone face down, slow and careful, like he was closing a box. I started going to the gym after work. I told Ethan it helped my stress. He said okay, and asked what days. I said it depended. He said he needed to know for Nora's schedule. I said he was obsessed with schedules. He said schedule was how children felt safe. That made me feel like he was calling me unsafe, so I got louder. At the gym, I met Rafe in the hallway near the studio rooms, where people came and went. He asked if I wanted to join a beginner dance class he helped with sometimes. I said I was not a beginner. He said it was not about skill, it was about fun. I told myself it was innocent because it was a class. I told myself Ethan could not complain about a class. When I got home that evening, the shredder hummed from Ethan's office. It stopped when I stepped near the door. I asked what he was shredding. He said old receipts. I said why now? He said because he was cleaning. I smelled that faint toner smell again, like a printer had been busy, even though I did not see paper. Later, while he washed dishes, I noticed a small USB drive taped under a folder labeled Taxes. The label on the USB was a date, written in neat ink. I pretended I did not see it. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself he was just being extra. Still, my chest felt tight at night. I kept thinking about Nora's words, about the pickup line, about my life showing up on other people's screens. Rafe messaged me and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine and that my husband was just sensitive. Rafe said sensitive men like to play victim. I stared at that line and felt relieved because it matched the story I needed. Ethan came into the room and asked if I could look at him for a second. I said what? He asked if I understood that this was getting bigger than us. I said he was making it bigger. He said no, it was already bigger, and we were late to stop it. I said he loved acting like the responsible one. He said he did not want to act. He wanted to do what was right. He went back to the guest room without another word. I stayed in bed with my phone glowing, telling myself I was still in control, while the house stayed quiet in a way that felt planned. The birthday dinner was on Sunday. It was at a family restaurant Ethan's parents loved, the kind with long tables and loud plates. The place always smelled like hot bread and coffee. Ethan said we should go because it mattered to his dad. I said I would go because I was not the type of wife who couldn't show up. I made it sound like a gift. Before we left, Ethan asked if we could agree to keep it calm for Nora. I said I was always calm and he was the one who made tension. He asked if I could not bring up the club or the video. I said nobody cared about the video except him. He said people did care, and Nora had already heard about it at school. I said children heard everything, and it was not my job to control other people's phones. In the car, he asked if I was still talking to Rafe. I said he was obsessed and that it was creepy. He said he was asking because trust was gone. I said trust was gone because he killed romance first. He asked how he killed it. I said he treated me like a schedule, not a woman. He went quiet again, and that quiet made me want to win harder. At the restaurant, Pam and Danny were already there. Pam waved like she owned the room. Danny hugged me and asked if I was surviving the Ice King. I laughed. Ethan heard it and did not react. He just greeted his parents politely. Lydia hugged Nora first and asked about school. Graham shook Ethan's hand and asked if work was busy. It looked normal from far away, and I hated that. I wanted the room to feel my pain. I wanted my story to be the main dish. We sat at the long table. Nora sat between Ethan and Lydia. I sat across from Ethan, with Pam and Danny on my side like bodyguards. The first few minutes were safe. People talked about food and traffic. Then Pam asked if we had gone dancing again. Ethan looked at his menu and did not answer. I answered for him and said Ethan did not like dancing because he liked control more than joy. Lydia glanced at me and asked what I meant by control. I smiled and said I meant Ethan always had rules. I said he wanted me home early, wanted to know where I was, wanted the whole world to move at his pace. I left out how he only asked because of Nora. I left out how I had used the word schedule like an insult. Ethan asked me softly if I could stop. I said I was just talking. I said he was too sensitive. Pam nodded hard and said some men could not handle confident women. Danny added that I had changed a lot since having a child, and I deserved to find myself. I liked how the words sounded. They made me feel like a hero in my own movie. Graham tried to shift the topic and asked about Nora's school play. Nora said she had a song. Ethan asked her what song it was. Nora started to hum it, then stopped and looked at me like she was checking if it was safe. That small look made my stomach twist, but I pushed it away. I told myself Nora was just shy. When the food came, I kept going. I did it in small cuts, like jokes. I said, Ethan used to be fun before he became a husband who tracked time. I said he thought romance was buying paper towels on sale. I said he could not even flirt without sounding like a customer service email. Pam laughed too loud. Danny laughed like it was justice. A few cousins laughed because laughter was easy. Ethan asked me, without anger, why I needed to do this here. I said because he always acted perfect in front of people, and I was tired of being the only one who looked messy. He said he was not trying to look perfect, he was trying to keep peace. I said peace was what men called it when women were silent. Lydia told me she understood feeling unseen, but she did not think shaming Ethan was the way. I said Lydia was biased because she was his mother. Lydia said she loved her son, but she also loved Nora, and Nora needed adults to behave. I took that as an attack. I said Lydia was trying to make me the villain. Lydia said she was not calling me a villain. She was asking for kindness. I heard the word kindness and felt a rush of anger because kindness sounded like surrender. I told the table Ethan had been cold for weeks. I said he slept away from me like I was dirty. I said he punished me with silence. I said he wanted me to beg. Graham asked Ethan if that was true. Ethan looked up and said he slept in the guest room because he did not want to fight in front of Nora. He said he was choosing calm. He said he was also choosing to think carefully before he spoke because words could become weapons. I hated that he sounded steady. I hated that he sounded reasonable. Pam said Ethan was playing the victim. Ethan said he was not playing anything. He said he was not going to argue at a family dinner. He asked me, again, if I could stop. I said no, because I had been stopping for years and he never noticed. That was when Ethan did something that should have scared me more than it did. He pulled his wallet out, placed it on the table, and asked the server for the check early. He did not raise his voice. He did not slam anything. He just ended it. Pam muttered that he was storming off. I said he always did that. I said he ran away when real feelings showed up. Ethan looked at me and asked if I truly believed that. I said yes. He nodded once, like he was filing the answer away. When the check came, he paid it. He told Graham happy birthday and said he was sorry the night went this way. He told Lydia he would bring Nora by tomorrow after school if Lydia wanted. He asked Nora if she wanted to go with him now or stay for dessert. Nora looked at me, then at Ethan. She said she wanted to go with Dad. That should have hit me. Instead, I told myself Ethan had influenced her. I told myself he was turning Nora against me. Ethan stood, took Nora's jacket and helped her put it on. He asked Nora if she wanted to say goodbye. Nora hugged Lydia and Graham quickly. She did not hug me. She did not refuse me either. She just followed Ethan like he was the safe path. Ethan walked out without looking back at my face. The table went quiet after he left. Danny asked if I was okay. I said I was fine and that Ethan was acting dramatic again. Pam said this was good because it showed everyone who he really was. Lydia did not agree. Lydia said Ethan had behaved with restraint. She said I had been cruel. I stared at Lydia and told her she did not know what it was like to be married to a man who made you feel invisible. Lydia said she knew what it was like to be married, and she knew what it was like to make mistakes, and she knew shame did not fix love. I did not answer, because answering would mean hearing her. When I got home later, the house was too quiet. The living room lamp was off. The guest room door was closed. On the kitchen counter were 2 mugs again, spaced apart like a line. I walked down the hall and tried Ethan's office door. It was shut. I turned the knob and felt resistance. I tried again. Locked. I stood there, staring at a door that had never been locked before, and I told myself he was being petty. Still, my hand stayed on the knob longer than it should have, because the click of that lock felt like a new rule I did not write. The week after the dinner, I started to move through the house like I was visiting someone else's life. Ethan did not shout. He did not slam doors. He did not call me names. That should have made me feel safe. Instead, it made me feel trapped, because I could not point to a big ugly moment and say, "There it is. That is why I did what I did." He kept everything practical. He asked what time Nora's school ended. He asked what days I planned to go to the gym. He asked if I could confirm pickup on Wednesday because he had a meeting. I said he was acting like a robot. He said he was acting like a parent. I tried a different tactic. I started being extra sweet in front of Nora. I made pancakes. I played music in the kitchen. I kissed Ethan's cheek once as I walked by, like I was calm and mature. Ethan looked surprised, but he did not lean in. He said thank you, like I had handed him a napkin. That hurt more than anger would have. I told Danny that Ethan was freezing me out on purpose. Danny said that was emotional abuse. Pam said I should show him what he was losing. Pam said men only understood consequences. I liked that word because it made me feel like I was teaching a lesson, not breaking a home. On Thursday, Ethan asked if we could go over the budget after Nora went to bed. I laughed and asked since when he needed my permission to be boring. He said he needed clarity. I said clarity was just another word for control. He said no, clarity was protection. He opened his laptop in the kitchen and showed me a list of bills. He did not show me any formal papers, just a spreadsheet with numbers and dates. He said he wanted to split things in a simple way for now. He said he would cover the mortgage and utilities, and I could cover groceries and Nora's school extras, or we could do the reverse. He asked what felt fair. I asked why he was acting like we were roommates. He said we were not acting like a married couple, so he needed a plan that kept Nora stable. I said he was punishing me because I danced. He said he was not punishing me, he was responding to a pattern. I told him he was overreacting and acting like I had done something illegal. He said he did not care about drama, he cared about decisions. I asked if he was threatening me. He said he was not threatening me. He was setting boundaries. The next day at the grocery store, I saw what boundaries looked like in real life. I filled the cart fast, grabbing a few extra things the way I always did, because I was annoyed and I wanted comfort. At the checkout, my card declined. The screen beeped loud enough for the cashier to glance up. I tried again. Declined. The cashier asked if I had another form of payment. People behind me started shifting. I felt heat crawl up my neck. I called Ethan right there. He answered on the second ring. I asked why my card was not working. He said he had moved our shared spending to a bill account only. He said he told me we needed a split plan. I said he embarrassed me on purpose. He said he did not even know I was at the store. He asked if I wanted him to transfer money for groceries. I said I did not want his money. I wanted my husband back. He said he was not going to argue in public. He asked how much the groceries were. I said the total. He said he would transfer it. I watched the cashier's face as I tried again, and it went through. I wanted to cry, but I held it in because crying would mean admitting I was not the one in control. In the parking lot, I messaged Pam and told her Ethan was being financially abusive. Pam replied with angry emojis and said I should expose him. Danny said I should document everything. The word document made my stomach tighten, but I pretended it was exciting, like we were in a fight I could win. That night, I tried to bait Ethan into a scene. I asked why he was being so cold. He asked what I wanted him to do. I said I wanted him to fight for me. He said he would not fight in front of Nora. I said Nora was asleep. He said the house still heard us. I told him he was weak. He asked me not to call him names. I said he was acting like a victim again. He said I was confusing calm with weakness. I went to the gym more often. I told Ethan it was for stress. I did not tell him I liked seeing Rafe in the hallway. Rafe always had an easy smile. He asked if I was okay. I said my husband was acting crazy. Rafe said some men could not handle women being admired. I said Ethan wanted to control me. Rafe said I did not look like someone who could be controlled. That line made me stand taller. On Tuesday, I drove to Ethan's office building at lunch. I told myself I was doing it to talk like adults. The truth was, I wanted to corner him where he could not walk away. I wanted him to feel small the way I had felt at the grocery store. The lobby was bright and quiet, with security desks and people in badges. I waited near the elevators. When Ethan came down, he looked surprised but not scared. He asked why I was there. I said we needed to talk. He said he could not have a private argument in his workplace. I said he was hiding behind rules. He said he was protecting his job and our child's stability. I stepped closer and asked if he was seeing someone. He said no. I asked if he was talking to a lawyer. He did not answer that directly. He said he was getting professional advice about how to handle things correctly. I said he was trying to scare me. He said he was trying to do the opposite of scare me, because fear made people act worse. A woman from security looked over. Ethan lowered his voice and asked me to stop. He said if I needed to talk, we could do it at home when Nora was not present, and we could keep it respectful. I said respectful was a word he used to silence me. He said respectful was the minimum for adults. On the drive home, I told myself Ethan was becoming a stranger. I told myself he was cruel for being calm. I told myself he was doing this to punish me. It was easier than telling myself I had lit the fire. That evening, I met him on the stairwell landing after Nora went to bed. The hall light flickered a little, making the space feel small. I stood in front of him and asked if he even loved me. He asked if I could lower my voice. I said I was not loud. He said the house carried sound. I told him he was throwing away our marriage over pride. He said it was not pride, it was trust. I said trust was a feeling, and feelings could change. He said trust was also behavior, and behavior had consequences. I asked him what he wanted from me. He said he wanted honesty, boundaries, and peace for Nora. I said he was acting like a judge. He said he was acting like a father who did not want chaos. Then he looked at me in a way I had not seen in months. Not angry, not begging, just decided. He said he would handle this properly, with professionals, and he would not be pulled into fights anymore. I stood there, waiting for more, waiting for a crack, waiting for him to chase me. He turned and walked to the guest room, calm and steady, like the decision had already been made somewhere I could not reach. A minute later, my phone buzzed, and I saw an alert that a shared account password had been changed, followed by a message about two-step verification being turned on. The next morning, Ethan texted me the pickup time for Nora like nothing happened. He said Nora would be with him after school and back with me on Thursday evening. I asked what he meant by back with me. He said it was the schedule for now. I said he could not set a schedule alone. He said I would understand soon. I drove to his office building again, telling myself I would catch him and force a real talk. The lobby was busy this time. People stood in lines with coffee cups and badges. A security guard watched the doors. I saw Ethan near the elevators, calm, holding a plain folder. He looked like he was going to a meeting, not ending a marriage. I walked up fast and asked why he was doing this. He asked me to lower my voice. I said he was trying to control me again. He said he was trying to keep it respectful in public. I said he was hiding behind rules. He said he was choosing lawful steps because he would not fight anymore. Then a woman I did not know stepped toward me. She asked if I was Melisande Sorrell. I said yes, and asked who she was. She said she had documents for me. She held out an envelope and asked me to accept service. I looked around and saw people glance over, like they recognized drama when they saw it. I refused at first. I said I did not accept anything. The woman said I did not need to agree. I just needed to be identified. She said she would note it either way. Ethan stood a few feet back and did not speak. That silence felt louder than a shout. I grabbed the envelope because I did not want her to say I refused. My hands shook. I told Ethan he was trying to humiliate me. He said he was not doing anything to me in that moment. He said the process was happening because of choices, not because of revenge. I opened the first pages and saw our names, the marriage date, and the word petition. I saw a request for temporary orders. I felt my stomach drop when I read that the temporary plan started immediately. It listed a parenting schedule with exact days and pickup times. It listed limits on spending from shared accounts and said transfers would be tracked. It said we could only communicate about Nora and practical needs, and it warned against harassment in public posts. I looked up and asked Ethan if he had planned this for weeks. He said he planned it properly once he realized I would not stop. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like Nora needed stability. I tried to laugh and said this would make him look petty. He said the court did not care about my jokes. It cared about facts. He nodded toward the envelope and asked me to read the dates again. I read the first pickup time and saw it was today. I read the first exchange location and saw it was the school office. My mouth went dry when I understood the marriage was no longer a conversation. and the rules were already in effect.